Good morning, everyone. It's Weather with Sim again. I hope you guys are all having a great day so far. And in today's video, we're going to be going over the threats for severe storms again across the Ohio Valley and Midwest. And here's what's most interesting about this. What's most interesting about this is that we actually will see the potential for a few severe thunderstorms as we do head in the Saturday, because gosh, the models wants to be so aggressive on the severe weather. So first of all, we're going to be going ahead and starting off with the Cape with the NAM model, and we're going to start off with the surface-based Cape. And as we continue to take this forward, the NAM model actually wants to show a pretty strong line of Cape moving through Indiana and Ohio. Just look at that, guys. And on the other hand, I don't even have to head all the way out for the NAM to show a bunch of Cape, because here in Illinois and as well as Missouri, we got some pretty decent Cape there, as we only had about half the way out as the NAM model can go. And as we head towards the end of it, which is around 75 hours, but the very end of it is 84, but we're only gonna have 75 hours out. And as you see, we actually do have a pretty decent line of Cape moving through Indiana and Ohio. And as you see, NAM just wants to take it completely through Ohio and Indiana, which will be pretty intense to see if this is really the case. And like I said, I also didn't have to head all the way out to the end of the NAM model to see this Cape development. And the NAM model thinks this is going to be the most possible on Saturday, but I think this is definitely going to be something we do have to still be watching, because I'm saying we still have maybe a little bit of uncertainty, because models didn't show this during the last few days, so I think that we might still have some changes with this. Now, for the unstable, the mean layer Cape, we're actually going to go ahead and take a look at that. It actually shows a wide Cape moving through Indiana and Ohio again. So pretty good agreement on the Cape moving through Ohio and Indiana still with the NAM model. And with the supercell composite, it actually shows an area of maybe up to 3, maybe even just sticking around 2. But I mean, gosh, guys, this is going to be crazy, because like as we look here in Illinois, it seems like the supercell development might be a little bit higher here in Illinois, but I mean Indiana, like here in southwest Indiana across the tri-state area. And if you don't know what it is, it's pretty much located around this area right here. This is the tri-state, and it's called that because it includes 3 states, like Indiana, Illinois, and Kentucky are the 3 states included. And as you see, we'll continue to see some Cape and even some supercell composite across here of Indiana, and as well as the tri-state, pretty much the entire tri-state included in a threat for some severe storms as we do head into Saturday. So we'll have to watch those areas pretty closely. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the significant tornado parameter. So look at this, guys. Wow. The NAMO actually wants to show it being over 1, which probably indicates that there might be a threat for maybe a few tornadoes as we do head into Saturday, guys. This is pretty interesting, to be honest, but I mean, chances for thunderstorms are extremely high, I would say, because when we looked at that Cape, we saw about 300, if not even 600 joules per kilogram across here in Indiana, Illinois, and as well as Ohio. So, and like I said, it's gonna be pretty intense, I think, guys. It sure is. And like I said, again, I don't have to head all the way out. I just have to head about to the 72-hour mark, but the 84-hour mark is most likely Sunday. I know it's showing Saturday, but I'm pretty sure this is at the very, very end of Saturday. So, again, I don't have to head all the way out for the NAM model to really show this. So that does show some certainty on how we could see a severe weather setup as we head into Saturday. We'll see if the models continue showing this, but let's go ahead and look at the GFS model now. So for the GFS model, we actually will have some decent cape, I think. So let's go ahead and take this forward, and wow, dude. Wow, the GFS model actually wants to show a pretty strong line of cape, at least around 100 to 200 joules per kilogram across western Kentucky, western Tennessee, heading here into southern Indiana, and then maybe a few other pockets of at least 100, but more isolated though. So GFS model really wants to show that cape heading into southern Indiana too as well, and even the NAM showed a lot of cape in southern Indiana. So I think southern Indiana might be the area to watch for severe storms as we do head into the weekend, guys, because the GFS model and as well as the NAM model are both showing the most cape here in Indiana. I would probably say there's still some uncertainty about the cape in Illinois, because if we look, the GFS model does show some cape at least, but not a whole lot of cape across northern Illinois, so we might not even see severe storms up there, but probably is something we do need to watch very closely. And look at this, guys, it even shows some of that cape going in early on Friday too as well across portions here of Indiana, and then it just continues getting wider on the next run, and then it just head through Indiana. So GFS model definitely wants to show some cape moving through southern Indiana and all the way down into Arkansas, so pretty good agreement on that happening. If we look at the supercell composite, GFS model actually does want to show some chances for supercell development across here in Indiana, so pretty interesting to see that too as well. So like I said, I think southern Indiana might have the best chance for severe thunderstorms. And let's go ahead and look at the wind shear now. So wind shear in the upper atmosphere will be plentiful strong. Look at that, guys. Wow, dude. Wow, look, we continue to see that purple color show up for like pretty much the entire day on Saturday and even into Monday. So crazy wind shear right there in the upper atmosphere. But what about in the mid atmosphere? We're gonna go down a little bit, and we're gonna go to 500 millibars. So for the middle of the atmosphere, that is with the GFS model again, we actually might see some pretty good wind shear too as well. Cause look, we actually gotta go back a little bit, but it looks like on Saturday we might get some of this red, guys. And look, we just need the yellow color too as well. So look, guys, if we just see this yellow color, that's just enough to really get some storms rotating. But if you see the red color, then that's like more than you really need to get these storms rotating. But what about in the very low atmosphere, which is pretty much going to be near us? Let's look at 955 millibars, and wow, dude, actually some pretty decent cape in the very lower atmosphere. Maybe a little bit low. Let's actually go ahead and look at the NAM model and see what it thinks, and it actually wants to show a little bit more in the way of wind shear in the very lower atmosphere, which definitely will help these storms rotate. But what about in the middle of the atmosphere? NAM actually wants to show a ton of that, guys. Wow, dude. So pretty interesting there again in the middle of the atmosphere, and as well as the lower atmosphere. And NAM actually wants to show some of that red color popping up as we do head into Saturday. So plenty of wind shear that is definitely marked off. What about the dew points? We didn't take a look at that yet. So for the dew point, it looks like this is in Celsius, but those blue colors will indicate the 50s, or I mean the 60s rather. So NAM wants to show maybe some 50, 60 degree dew points across here in Indiana. 60 degree dew points look to stay down to the south. What about in the very upper atmosphere? Let's see. There we go. It sounds like we can only look at the let's see. I think we just gotta click temperature for that. But in the middle of the atmosphere, we actually see some pretty cool temperatures. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cold temperatures in the middle of the atmosphere, pretty much. So, pretty decent there too as well. So, I mean, maybe a cold snap could be possible, but I don't think so, guys. The dew points were actually only in the 50s and 60s across here in Indiana, but that would only be if we really see that happen, but we'll see. We are still on the NAML. Let's go ahead and look at a few more things, guys. Let's actually go ahead and or let's go ahead and look at a few more models. We already looked at this model, but let's go ahead and see what the GEM RDPS model shows. So for the GEM RDPS model, it actually shows a pretty good line of cape moving through again, guys. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Southern Indiana is definitely in for some pretty nasty, severe weather as we do head into Friday or Saturday. So, like what I'm trying to say is all models have been showing cape in Southern Indiana. And that's what's very intense and like surprising to see right there is cape just in Southern Indiana with all models, including the GFS model, which isn't the best model, or I mean, I probably should say not necessarily the best model, but still does a good job sometimes. What about the GEFS model? Well, for this one, we actually don't really see any cape at all, it doesn't look like. Well, let's go. I don't think I select anything, but let's go to the supercell composite and see if that does anything. Okay, I see what it's saying. It actually wants to show a chance for severe thunderstorms again across Southern Indiana. And like with the long-range models, like with the GFS and the GEFS model, we don't have to head all the way out, and we only have to head like a quarter of the way out to really see a chance for severe thunderstorms. So I mean, that's why it's also pretty decent, or I should probably say pretty high chance for severe storms, because we don't even have to head all the way out. So, like I said, I think this is pretty certain by this point, and even models have been showing this coming sometime on the weekend for a pretty decent amount of time. So this will be something to keep an eye on. What about Max Supercell Composite? Wow, dude. Wow, pretty high chances for supercells again across here in Indiana, Illinois, maybe even Western Kentucky could get a few of them. So again, pretty good cape. And let's actually go ahead and look at this. So it looks like quite a bit of them are showing some cape moving through Indiana. So I mean, that's definitely interesting to see right there, guys. Pretty interesting to see. And let's go ahead and go to here and see if it shows anything, and nope, it does not. But I think that's because all the cape that will move through these areas will not be 100 joules per, or I mean 1,000 joules per kilogram. It will be less than 1,000, so I think that's why it's not showing that. So let's go to the CFSV2 model, and let's actually go ahead and take a look at that model now. And it actually might show a little bit of cape moving through. Let's see what happens when we actually no, guys, or I mean maybe a little bit of cape it looks like, but this is like less far out than what the other models were showing, guys. So we still have more models showing a chance for severe storms across some of these areas. So and they didn't show it 54 hours out. They only showed it on Saturday, so a little bit farther out with the other models for how the severe weather threat is looking like, but we're definitely going to have to watch very closely, guys. But before this video gets too long, I'm just going to say thank you guys very much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. We didn't have time to take a look at all the models, but almost all of them have been showing a threat for severe storms across portions here of the Ohio Valley, especially the western Ohio Valley. So here's what I want you guys to do. I want you guys to get prepared today, tomorrow, or even the day after tomorrow, because severe storms will start to be a possibility for Indiana, Illinois, maybe even Kentucky. So I do want you guys to get prepared right now for that, just for the safety precautions if there were to be a severe thunderstorm. But we'll see if one does happen, guys. We'll see. I think it's going to be pretty significant because the wind shear is all good. Dew points are pretty decent because they do estimate to 60, but they're actually in the mid 50s. Cape is around 500 joules per kilogram. We got great model agreement on that. And the supercell composite, and as well as the significant tornado parameter, were both decent on almost all models too as well. So we got a plenty of agreement on us having a severe weather threat on Saturday. So thank you guys very much, and stay safe out there.